is that, you know what, hold on. There, we need to do this. Okay, before I introduce Judy Arrigotti, Judy, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Perfect.
Oh, good, okay. Couple of housekeeping. This was left last month. Does it belong to anybody here? No. Okay. It says winter wish. Okay. Okay. Sorry, Carolyn.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We have a guest.
Okay.
This is Rosie Geyer. We went to high school together. I didn't realize that she was already born and raised here because she was in Camino and I lived in Placerville. Anyway, she's starting back up her artwork again, and I steered her to Joyce Martin, and she's happy with Joyce. And she used to own off Broadway.
Yes, we miss you. Isn't that wonderful? Well, welcome. We're a great group. I suggest you join.
Thank you.
Okay, it's just a suggestion. Roberta has a list for sign-ups for goodies for future meetings. We are running short from June on. So Roberta is going to be passing around the sign-up sheet. And if you'll take a look at it and please sign up, that would be wonderful. Okay? Okay. One other thing. Carrie Rapkin, you want to hold up your hand? Carrie is our membership chair, and she has got membership forms. And I know that I spoke to two of you who are interested and want to sign up today. Please see Carrie, okay? If Carrie has not already seen you, okay? All right. Okay, so without further ado, I'd like to introduce Judy Arrigotti. And just to give you a couple of notes of her background. Judy moved to El Dorado Hills. Do you live in El Dorado Hills, Judy? Okay, it wasn't on the paper. But moved to El Dorado Hills from San Carlos. So she's a Bay Area transplant. She has been teaching art and retired after 20 years. And focusing, so she's retired and now she's focusing on what gives Judy great joy, which she's going to share with us today. She creates oil paintings and gourd sculptures. Oil paintings are landscapes, seascapes, figures, and wildlife. In 1997, she discovered gourds. Well, the potential of gourds, but I think it's he discovered gourds. The thing that I got excited about, I'm not excited about the other stuff, but she's active in local arts communities. Judy founded El Dorado Hills Art Association. That impressed me, Judy. And participated in the Folsom Gourd Festival, the El Dorado Hills Art Affair, El Dorado Hills Art Studio Tour, and has her work in galleries in Monterey, Half Moon Bay, Sacramento, Fair Oaks, Placerville, South Lake Tahoe, and Folsom. In fact, she's got work right now at American Visions Gallery.
That's all past tense.
Oh, this is old. Okay, forget what I said, guys.
But right now, she has a gourd in the Harris show at the Bank of America.
Yeah, a lot of years.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so just forget about half of what I said. Okay, so without further ado, Judy, you've got the spotlight.
Louder. So please forgive me for that ahead of time. I am really happy to be here. I'm going to add just a little smidgen of background information about me. When I retired from school teaching, I joined Placerville Arts Association right off the bat. Blanche Kawahara was president at that time. Is she still okay? Is she around? Does anybody know?
Her two daughters moved here, one from Wyoming, well, both of them from Wyoming, and she bought a big spread with 3 houses on it and moved, and I have not seen her since.
Okay, well, it sounds like she's living a good life.
passed away several years ago.
Okay.
She did?
Okay. She was up there when I met her, and now I'm old. The other thing that I wanted to say is when I joined Placerville Arts Association, I had just gone to a studio tour in Placer County, their big monstrous studio tour that they have every November and get rained on every November. But I went to that and I was so impressed. I want to do this. I want to be a part of a studio tour. And so I joined Placerville Arts Association. I said to Blanche, okay, I'm filling this form out, but I want to do a studio tour. When's your studio tour? And she says, oh, we don't have one anymore. And I said, you don't? Why not? She said, because we don't have anybody to run it. I'll do it. And so in 2001, I put together the first studio tour and for Placerville, but they had done it in the past when somebody was there. Anyway, I wanted to let you guys know that, which I thought was kind of cool because that was a long time ago in 2001. Pardon? Okay, I want to know right off the bat what your birth order in your family is. The reason I want to know that is because I worked in San Juan School District for a very long time, but I started as a rotating art teacher for the gifted program. And at that time, they were using the funds in the gifted program to hire me to rotate from school to school teaching art because they thought that was a good enrichment activity for gifted children. While I was working for the gifted program, which I did for about 8 years, they sent me to all these amazing creative workshops because kids, when they get in the gifted program, they take a test called the Stanford-Binet test, which then says what their IQ is. A lot of those questions that they ask are problem-solving questions, creativity questions. They don't always get in school and function as though they're gifted kids according to following the rules and being a teacher pleaser and doing things as you're told to do. And they're the kid that when everybody on the bulletin board has a green Christmas tree, you make yours purple. And at that point, that's a problem because they're being told, no, follow the rules, stay with the norm, be average, which is very, very sad in my opinion. But I learned all these strategies and all these techniques to work with gifted children. So I started a program called the ALPS program, which was Advanced Learning Packages. And I went to the school district and I said, there ought to be a teacher like me that rotates from school to school and works with gifted kids, but they should be in social studies, they should be in language arts, they should be in math, they should be in science. So they hired me to do that. So I started traveling around all different school districts doing creativity workshops. I haven't done creativity workshops for a very, very long time because I've been retired from being a school teacher, which I did too. But I thought, you know what? I'm working with all these artists and I'm seeing artists who are very, very talented, very skilled in their drawing or their painting or their weaving or their carving or their molding. They're following somebody else's pattern. They're stuck in that learning mode where you find something that you admire and you copy it. You get a photograph that somebody else has taken and you copy it or paint it or sculpt it or whatever. Anyway, so what I don't remember where I got it, but I got this paper that you'll have in your packet that says, This is what your voice is. This is what your style is. And when I'm giving art lessons, I keep working with the people that I'm giving art lessons to. Okay, now you've learned how to draw, you've learned how to paint, now learn how to be a creative painter. Learn how to listen to your own voice and create your own style. So going with that, I want to go through the history of how we all form the permission to be creative. We start out in a family. It's great to be in families because most families, although somebody already told me they came from twins, they weren't the twin, but they had twins in their family. And what happens in school is all of a sudden you're taken away from multi-age, where you have older brothers and sisters and younger brothers and sisters, and they teach you a whole lot, and you learn from watching them grow and so forth. So if you are an only child, when you have total adult supervision, adult contact, adult encouragement, and you're the pride of the family, not only are you firstborn to your parents, but sometimes firstborn to your grandparents, you get spoiled and so forth. You have a total different personality than somebody that is born at a different place. A firstborn has the same advantages as the only child, except for they get knocked off their pedestal when along comes the second-born. And the second-born comes along, and the second-born says, you do everything good. They don't say that out loud. I never would have said that to my sister. But she did everything really, really well, which meant, how do I find my niche? I'm going to go a different direction. I'm not going to take on music, because she carries a tune. She sounds good. I squeak when I try to sing. I'm going in a different direction. She played the flute and the piccolo in the band, in the orchestra, in the jazz band. She was in choir. Okay, how do I show? I went to school and I was drawing or painting or whatever, and people would look over my shoulder and say, oh, that's good. Oh, you think so? Here's my niche. I started at a very young age knowing exactly what I wanted to do, because that's where I got accolades, that's where I got feeling good about myself. Whereas when it was the day to get grades from school, my sister would get home and she'd give them her report card, and I would think, is it better to rush home and give them mine first? Or should I stall a little bit, hang back, wait until they do all their, oh, Ray, you're so wonderful. And then I'll come in with, oh, Judy, good. Anyway, that's the way it was for me. I would like to know who in here is a only child, stayed an only child. Okay, and did you read, because you have a handout. I know you can't all read from where you're sitting, all of this, so I gave you a handout that has this poster on it.
This one.
Okay,
Actually see that.
and it has in there the list of the traits that a firstborn tends to have. You may or may not agree with all of these things, because you may have been the firstborn, and you then may have been a product of a divorced family where suddenly two families where there were firstborns now we're together, and who gets to be the firstborn? No, not so much. Or maybe you're in a family where you had some surprise kids that came along, so your oldest is older by several years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, where you didn't really grow up at the same time. When you were home forming your learning styles and so forth, your sibling has already been in school. And by the time you get in school, you're in elementary school and they're in junior high or high school or college. So you have different rules. But there's very few firstborns in here, or only child, I'm sorry. How many eldest? Okay. Now, the firstborn is often very, very good at school. They come into school, they know how to deal with adults, they know how to please the teacher, and they want to please because they have been raised as a firstborn that learns how to please and what to do to please, and they follow that. Now, as a teacher, I can remember when at the end of the year, school year, you had these kids that were just, they were so wonderful to have in your classroom, and now along comes their little brother or sister, and the teachers will argue over, no, I already have a relationship with that family. I want the second born. I have to have that second born. Guess what? Not the same as the firstborn. So, consequently, the middle child, the middle child has a lot of advantages. One of them is that they get to play the rules of a middle child, but they also get to be very, very easy to be around because they know how to compromise and they know how to make two people that are arguing stop arguing. They're really good at that. But then they were the youngest, so they also got spoiled for a while, and they got to have what youngest children benefit from until the next person came along. And when the next person came along, how many of you are middle children? Okay, real even disposition, easy to get along with, does great with others. They get along with the oldest, they get along with the youngest, but the youngest and the oldest sometimes don't so much get along. So they're flexible and easygoing and independent and mediators. I had all three of my sons over for Mother's Day yesterday, and they are, I mean, it's as though I took a thing and put it around their neck. Okay, this is Guy, this is my oldest child. He knows exactly what his script is. He plays it very well. My middle child is the one I don't see very often because he really enjoys his friends more than the family. That sounds sad, but that's true. And then there's the youngest. And the youngest is always cracking jokes, always being funny. He's a salesman by profession, and he's a salesman by nature. And I happen to be the youngest in my family. There was no middle, it was just my sister and I, the oldest and the youngest. And some of you, I put pictures of my sister and I. Yeah, this picture of us painting our grandmother's house. And my mom and dad were architects by profession. They were self-taught. So my mother and father, my mother was an architect. She started as a draftsman, but the technical aspect of drawing, she really wanted to be a fine artist. So when I came along and showed an interest in art, my mother was always supportive and encouraging, bought me all the materials that she thought I might need in order to be successful in art. And so my mom was probably that person in all of our lives that you look back on and say, how did I get where I am? My mom. Anyway, so that's birth order. And what I'm saying is you go into school with these characteristics. Once you get into school, teachers don't treat you like only eldest, middle, and youngest. They treat you like this is the curriculum, this is your grade level, and I'm teaching this year. And so you aren't in this multi-age environment so much. And I sound prejudiced in that respect because I taught for 20 years in an open structure school. I taught 4th and 5th graders. I had them when they were in 4th grade, and when they finished 4th grade, they went on to 5th grade, and guess who their teacher was? Me again. I knew them, they knew me, and it was wonderful because on the first day of school, 4th grader here, 5th grader here, 4th grader here, 5th grader here. And I said, on the first day of school, your best teacher is sitting right next to you. They've been in my class for a year already. If you have questions, Go to them first, ask them, because they're really important in this classroom. The 5th graders just toughed, and they just thought they were so special. And those 4th graders were like, oh, my idol kind of thing. And it was wonderful, it really was. It was what I really believe in for education, because they didn't get bullied, I swear, unless it was when I was not in the, you know, it didn't appear to me like there was any bullying that went on at all, because they respected each other and they helped each other, and they realized those kids that were a little slower in learning and the kids that were a little faster in learning, the kids that were easy learners, didn't, you know, parade it in front of people and make the other kids feel dumb. Because once they got into my class, they forgot who was a 4th grader and who was a 5th grader. It was really easy to give a 4th grader 5th grade work and to give a 5th grader 4th grade work. Nobody knew the difference and nobody cared. So it was really great. So, okay, so you take these characteristics and you move it into learning styles. We all have our own learning styles, and those learning styles really tell you a lot about yourself, but also the other classmates in school, the teachers in school. If a teacher has a certain learning style, they're probably going to teach in that learning style. If your parents who raised you are a certain learning style, they're probably going to teach you in that learning style. So to point out what the learning styles are, I've given you this chart, and that's in your handout somewhere. You don't all have the same exact handout, because I've done this workshop before, and when I did it, I had leftover stuff. This is what it looks like right here. And if you don't have it, then the learning styles are right here. And I'd like to give you a couple of minutes to fill this out. Just go down the list and put a check next to everything that describes you in your opinion.
You want to do it?
I can do it later. We'll fill it out. We'll do another one. I'll do another one.
You found one? No? Oh, thank you. Okay.
Got it?
Just
Oh.
go and check.
Yeah.
Check the things. Does anybody else not have a packet? Just go down the list and put checks on everything that describes your personality.
You didn't mention twins. I have twin girls. Oh, and they're way different.
My husband's a twin, but he was the firstborn by 15 minutes. He acts like a firstborn. And his brother acts like the youngest. That's what happened with them. I don't know if that's always the case.
I don't fit up there because I was the last child. I had 4 older brothers, but they were all married or gone. And so by the time junior high came, I was alone, and I was like an only child.
That's right. It starts over again when there's a big separation between ages, because you ended up getting the highlight, you know,
Yeah, and they resented it.
Yeah. Now, please don't overthink it, because you want to just do what jumps into your head first, and also I don't want you to take up too much time, because I don't want to cut you short on other things.
You're not grading us on this?
I didn't say that. No, because we need all the learning styles, and you'll understand that when you finish what you're doing.
Read instructions.
Oh, that's me. Not until it doesn't work.
So I'm an oldest child, but I had an interesting childhood because my parents treated my little sister as if she was
They did? Huh, I wonder why. You might find out in the learning styles. Yeah. What comes to play is as soon as you have to take what we've learned here and apply it in school or at work.
Yeah.
Now, there were people that I had that I worked with. I like just about everybody, but there were people that I would get so frustrated with working alongside of them and trying to do a project together or whatever. It was because we had different learning styles.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you a couple more minutes and then I'm going to cut you off. As soon as you filled it in, because I noticed some of you were looking around like you filled it in, I want you to tally how many you checked for each of the different learning styles. And that's your grade, your score. That's your score.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be. Give me B.
Yeah. You need to throw dyslexia in there.
Oh, yeah, because we have the creative, yes, creative art of
Okay, that's
dyslexia.
Very much so.
I read the instructions, but that doesn't mean I understood them.
You have to digest them.
Okay, once you tally everything, you may find that you have more than one preferred learning style. It turned out for me that I was a 1 and I was a 4.
That's neat.
Yeah, and when you do this, and you've already done it, there is a play that we're going to do. So I'm going to ask for volunteers. Somebody who got more 1s than anything else. Would you volunteer to come in front of the group and read your part?
I tied too much. 1, 3, 4.
Look at you. That's wonderful. That's really good.
I don't know what that means.
I'll tell you. Just
Some of them were
read me.
big.
Oh, good. No, what it means is that
That's what
you
she said, don't think about it too
are
hard.
very flexible, that you don't care what learning style you like more.
I can hardly bend over right now.
And then there's that.
Shoveling too much dirt this
So just let me know, somebody that's a 1, I need them to volunteer, to come up and read. Come on, you guys.
Oh,
Now, how many youngest are in this room?
youngest until I was 17.
Well, you youngest, you aren't volunteering?
Not one.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm more of a 4 than a 1.
Or- okay.
Why don't you start with
I'm
the
the youngest.
fours and work your way backwards? Start with the volunteer for 4 and work your way backwards.
Yeah.
You're
There
gonna
you
get
go.
more volunteers that way.
All right, that's a
Okay,
good.
I'm a 1, I'll tell you.
All right, good.
Okay, you have to bring that script
Good
up
score.
with you, and you're a 1. So you can
I don't like
practice,
being up at the
you can
front.
rehearse your part here. I'm teasing you. So when I ask you to do it, you're gonna be, I'm sorry if this offends you, pig 1. This is the 3 little pigs, but it's not, it's the 4 little pigs because it's learning styles. So 2s, any 2s?
How many should you have to be?
The most.
There's no.
Go ahead.
No
Is she trying to tell you you're a 2? Is she pushing?
I'm watching over your shoulder.
Come on up here. And I'm not gonna give you pig
Come on,
ears or pig
Donna.
tail or anything.
Oh,
Oh,
then I'm not doing it.
What?
3s.
Linnell's like, nope.
3s, over here,
You're a 3.
and 4.
Pick me, pick me.
See, yeah. There you go, there you go. Okay, I'm gonna choose you.
Me?
4, yes.
Bring your script.
Oh, your script. Your little piggy number 4. It's on, I believe, the next page,
Okay, now you can do this
the back
real.
side.
I
We
mean, you
need
can
pig
act-
3 on
There you
camera,
go.
please.
Okay.
Piggy number
What?
4.
Here, I'm 3.
Make it tell them.
Now, do we all know these people and what their personalities are like?
No, I don't know.
I don't know anybody, this is my first meeting.
This is your first meeting. Oh, well, here you go. You're gonna learn about me. I'm the narrator. The wolf has always been a problem. The story opens with the 4 pig siblings in a conversation about their new building venture.
Go on. Number 1.
Big one.
What am I supposed to do?
Cute
Here's
big
three.
one.
Look, find this.
Do we have to have a theater discussion here?
Hey,
I'm not even. Project.
You're number 2. Okay.
Are we sure she's a one?
I don't like being up here.
Well, I appreciate your volunteering.
How is everything today? How do you feel anyway? Is everybody okay? I just love this idea about the 4 of us building a house together.
Very good, very good.
And do I go now?
Yeah.
It's
It's a script,
Number
you guys.
two.
Like
Judy
made
me have to repeat. They haven't been in kindergarten for a really long time.
Oh, yeah.
You got
Over
the
70
scene,
years,
you
yeah.
got the scene, okay. Right, speaking of the house, let's get to the point. We're behind schedule. Now, where's that list? I believe we are in phase 2 of the initial planning stage. Yes, it's all right here.
Oh gosh, forget the list. Let's get on with it. Talk's cheap. We need to see some actual construction here.
Yeah, now here's an idea. We could get started building, or maybe we could look around for some investment property. I saw a nice little piece of property down the river. Water access on one whole side of the house. That would keep the old wolf thinking.
Okay, we're back
Big
on one.
one.
Speaking of wolf, you know, I still say we could save a lot of hard feelings in the end if we meet with the wolf in person. I have this feeling that the wolf is probably not all that bad deep down inside. We just need to see things from his perspective. Being a wolf has a lot of hardship connected with it, and I don't see why we don't.
Cut it out. We're off the subject. The next item on the schedule is to discuss actual building materials. I have the list right here.
Did we remember to add all the extra stuff for the turrets? I really like turrets in a house. And what about a bay window? I think we should consider bay windows. Are they on the list?
Turrets are out. Entirely impractical. And bay windows will just provide easy access for the wolf. Anyway, we already decided what we needed. In fact, I actually picked up most of the stuff on the list. It was on sale. We got a good deal on it. I got brown tile instead of red. Easier to clean. I knew that as soon as I saw it.
Hold on. You mean you bought those things we didn't approve?
Just
You mean you changed the list?
Just staying on top of things.
This is getting out of hand. I don't think I can continue with the housing project in light of this recent
I'm not sure I'm still in either. I don't completely buy leaving off the turrets, but maybe there's hope if we consider a moat. Think about a moat.
I think we'd all feel a lot better if we just arranged to meet with the wolf. I just know he'd be sympathetic to our situation. Why?
Forget it. I'm out. Too much talk, not enough action. I've got all the stuff I need. I'm building my own house.
So be it. I'm off to the realtor.
Well then, I guess I'll just have to go see the wolf myself. I'm sure he'll be understanding.
See you later, big
So you can see the difference, the people that are people pleasers, the people that want to get along with the wolf and that kind of thing, and then you've got the person that wants to get down to it and what are you wasting time for and everything. And on, I mean, I don't need to repeat this, but I gave you all this because I'm hoping that what you will do, I'm really sorry the superintendent of schools didn't stick around. Because really, what I want you to do is you have kids, grandkids, everything, and this is really, really obvious when you get with a group of people. I'm sure that those of you that are on a board of some kind, a volunteer of some kind, like PAA, that you see these personalities working within. And this young lady who said, I've got all fives, why do I have all fives? You know what that means? You want her on a committee.
Yes.
Even if she's not flexible. So, what I have here is an elephant poster that I made years ago about we all see things from a different perspective. And this is the blind men and how they look at an elephant because they're seeing it from a different perspective or they're touching it from a different perspective. They see it as a wall or a rope or a tree or a snake or a spear or a fan, depending on their perspective. Where are they looking at it and what are they seeing? I'm sorry, you guys didn't see it over there. But this is just a poster. I don't know why. From the time I've been very young, I've always done posters. And I've been told that's out of fashion now. But I still have my own posters. Oh, I'm sorry, that butt was kind of loud, wasn't it? Did I pierce your ears? No. Okay. All right, so now we know our family influences on how we are. And when we get into public and we realize that we learn better sometimes in different ways from one another. So if you are a good teacher, what you do is you teach every lesson with all of those things in mind in order to get everybody in the room interested and involved and committed and invested in what's taking place. So that's learning styles. Now we go to the fun stuff, and that is creativity. Creativity, you can turn to your next poster thing. Creativity, and I've listed the different aspects of creativity, comes in basically 4 different forms. The first is flexibility. In order to be a flexible person, or excuse me, a creative person, fluency, I'm sorry, I got it out of order. Fluency is very, very important. Fluency means that you have experienced, you've read, you've traveled, you've researched, you've done all that you can think of in order to completely understand everything, to have enough knowledge so you can put 3 and 5 together, or this and that together, and you can figure out how to make something different from what it was before. And fluency, I did all these I's because knowledge, training, research skills, observe, discipline, question, rehearse, practice, all those things make fluency. So when they say to an art teacher that rotates around to different schools, different classes, different age groups, all in one day, fluency is really important. So you learn that if you're in a first grade class, you want to make sure that you give them the input that they need. It may be different, but it may be the same. Don't judge the fact that they're 3rd graders, because I've got to tell you, there's some genius little 3rd graders out there. But what I was told when I first started getting into art in the schools was that kindergartners should be left alone. They're born creative. I'm sorry, I don't believe that. I believe that kindergartners that are really creative are the ones whose parents, probably firstborns, the ones whose parents read to them, took them places, shared with them, let them interact at the dinner table. They were treated like an older person instead of a kindergartner. I believe that it's wrong to just assume kids are creative just because they're kids, because they don't have the fluency, they don't have the experience, they don't have the knowledge. And the more you give them that, the more they have the tools to be creative. So the first is fluency. So knowing that fluency is important, I am going to, wait a second here. So I'm just going to show you some of these posters that I made first. This is my idea of a fluency, was the sponge. Observe, ask questions, experiment, read, and then it goes down to brainstorm. If you have a class where everybody has to sit in their seats and not interact with each other, if I'm teaching you today and I just want you to sit there and listen to everything I say and believe everything I say and retain everything I say, that's not near as exciting, not near as much fun. Doesn't give each and every one of you the feeling that I really care about you. And that's why I think interactive learning is better than you sit, I talk, you listen, I give you directions and you follow them. So here's the incubation. A lot of times when I teach something in my art classes and I tell them about something, like clouds are not so easy to paint, and they think about it and try it and experiment with it, they go, you know what, clouds are not that easy to paint. That's right. They look like they're easy to paint, but they're not so easy to paint. Anyway, so I made this all to reach for that idea or that aha moment. And when you allow kids to brainstorm the solutions to things, they come up with really terrific ideas, and they all get to take credit for the ideas. They don't think, oh, this is my idea, I'm an A student, and that's your idea, and that's not so good, you're a D student. What they do is they all benefit from the brainstorming and the interacting, and they feel like they're a team working together. And so that's really important. And so now I need to figure out what to do with this thing. I have an idea. Throw it on the floor. Okay, put it right there. Okay, so the next thing after fluency is flexibility. And flexibility, I am showing that with this poster, which is branching out ideas. If you want to make an idea that isn't so creative into a better idea, have you considered combining it with another idea, adding to it, putting it to other uses, altering, adapting, substituting? All of these different things are how to branch out your ideas, to expand on your ideas. I'm going to give you an activity to do, and that activity is going to mean I'm asking you to purposely go beyond the first answer you think of. The first answer, throw it out. So if I take a gourd, I'm going to go with a gourd because people usually say, where do you get your ideas? The first thing is the shape of the gourd. And there's so often that people get a gourd, it's shaped like an egg, they make it an egg. They just take what comes first. If you push and you manipulate your ideas, you can be far more creative. So I'm going to ask you, there's a thing in here where I'm going to ask you to, there's circles. Some of them have the larger circles. I think most of them have the larger circles. And you could pretend like that's a word, but I would just say it's a piece of paper. Okay, there you go. Does everybody have the larger circles on it? I'm going to give you,
Right behind you, of course.
right here. Okay, so I'm going to give you, I don't know, let's say 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes, I would like for you, what? Is that already an hour?
Yeah.
No, you didn't start at an hour.
Oh, no, I have so much.
You have like 20 more minutes, you're good.
Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at these circles, and you're going to make them in, and listen to this, make them into something nobody else would think of. So if you come up with, oh, there's a circle, I'm gonna make a happy face. Let me tell you, everybody makes a happy face. Push it, push it. You'll feel your brain just working overtime if you expand your thinking. So 5 minutes to make the circles into something else.
I cheated. Now, believe me, keep drawing. Can you think and talk? Can I talk while you're thinking? Believe me, if I said before I gave you this assignment, if I said to you, I want you to look at each other's and you can't do what anybody else is doing, that would, the other people's ideas would expand your idea because you take what you're thinking and what they're thinking and you put them together. So that's why it's great to brainstorm when you have a problem to solve. Now, if you're feeling nervous because it looks like you're not moving as quickly as somebody else, or you can't think of another idea, remember, there are no right or wrong answers.
Yay.
It's just your answer. And you can't let somebody else and how quickly they accomplish a project mean that you're going to get stressed every time you're asked to do something. Tests are the worst thing that ever happened to kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to call time. Now, the way you score, and you score your own, I don't score them for you. Fluency is on the bottom. Count how many ideas you had and put the number there.
When you say ideas, the number of circles you filled in, or separate
So it can be the number of circles you filled in.
Which,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you use 2 circles to make one thing, that's just
That's
one.
where we're going. That's where we're going. That's where we're going, girl. The second one is flexibility. That means I didn't tell you that you could or couldn't combine circles. If you combine the circles to make one idea, then you get flexibility scores.
Get that.
What number?
For how many you did, how many did you combine?
It's a mouse.
Like if you put 2 together, then you get 2 points. If you put 5 together, you get 5 points.
I don't follow directions.
You combine all
Yeah.
I don't know how to apply the point.
That's why I said, you know, if I gave you a test, you would be on a whole different plane. Yeah, yeah. And the last one is, if you got an idea that you think is just so amazing and so different from everybody else, please raise your hand and share it. Because the person who does get the ideas, they're the composers. They're the people who create things, you know. There's musicians and there's composers. There writers and they're authors. There are artists and there are what? Anyway, I don't know. Geniuses, I guess. Anyway, so did anybody get an idea that they felt was really, really creative? Yes.
I tried to make it into a face.
Oh my God.
Oh,
She didn't look like a shoe.
Ears are hard.
That was very cool.
Very cool.
Facials.
Yes.
I have one that looks like you're looking down on a person with a giant brimmed hat riding a bicycle. So
nice.
So the,
Show it, hold it
I don't know if
up.
anybody will to see. It's this one right here.
Ah, yes.
And you have another one that's glasses.
Yeah.
And the glasses. Oh, I have a lady, a coiled up rattlesnake. I have looking through a microscope at a.
Yeah. So share, you have another one.
I don't follow directions.
There you go. Is that bubbles?
Circles.
Circles.
I don't follow directions.
So you at Christmas time, you did a checkered tree, right? Or something.
No, I have traditional.
No. I'm telling you, don't.
You just limited yourself.
So I'm going to give you just a couple of seconds for you to compare with other people.
That's what I want to try and figure out.
All of a sudden they get, oh, what's that?
I like your teeth.
I'm glasses and earrings, so if I would have shifted over, I could have put earrings. So the glasses, you know, and her mouth is just open and she's
I did a brawl.
yeah, those are
I did a bow.
I was thinking
Look at that, you even put your name and your weight on it.
I like the idea of the
I'm just very.
Okay, if I can have your attention, please. We're going to go on to flexibility. And flexibility, you guys are probably not going to recall this, but I always did the kids in my class called the liars. And then, after I did it in school for years and years and years, I've been on a cruise ship, and they were doing it on the cruise ship. And I thought, who told them about it? Anyway, and the Liars Club is flexibility. It's saying to somebody, I'm going to give you an object, and what I want you to do is, whether you know what it's for or not, I want you to see if you could come up with other uses for this particular thing. And what they do on cruise ships is one of the people knows what it really is for, And then they have 3 other people that come up with a different story about what it's for. And everybody has to vote on who had the best idea. So that's what I'm going to ask you to do right now. Can I have a couple of people raise your hand and tell me, what is this? And don't tell me what it really is yet.
Oh, do you want me to give you what I think it is? No, what?
Make up something.
Oh,
Probably not that.
It's a crayon slicer.
Oh, yeah. I've always wanted to have one of those. I didn't know I had one. You have your hand.
A tongue extender.
When you wash your horse and you don't have a scraper, that would scrape and get most of the water off.
There you go.
Yeah. One other.
It's a replacement ski tip for when you crash into that tree.
That's what it actually is. We used to cross-country ski with our sons, and we brought this along in case the ski got broken, because I'm going to tell you, you're in deep trouble with your ski brakes. So that's what this is.
It's not a crayon.
But you should hear some of the ideas that the kids come up through.
Oh, I bet that's fun.
I like the so now I have this. Okay, this is a little bag, and it's full of something soft. And I need to have stories about what you think it might be. And most people don't know what it is.
Yeah, so if you really know what it is, you don't say.
Yeah, if you really know what it is, don't give it away. Yes. What do you think?
It's a rice bag for a little kitty when he goes to sleep.
Okay.
To heat it up, yeah.
It's a rosin bag for a pitcher in a baseball game.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pillow for Barbie.
I'd stick pins in it.
Okay, cushion?
Cushion.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll ask you, which lie do you think is the best lie? They weren't lying, they were creating.
Looks just like a rosin bag.
Yeah, that did sound interesting. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, my mom and dad, remember I told you they were architects. This is an eraser. It had this white powdery stuff in it, and then when they made a mistake, they used pencils, and when they made a mistake, they could erase with it. I don't even think it would, I don't think it would work anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Wow, that's bizarre.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, the next one is this. Don't say anything. Okay, like I said, I was a classroom teacher. In my open structure class meant that I always had to have 2 parents in my classroom at all times. That was because at the beginning of the year, I asked them what their special talent was. And so somebody was computers, somebody else played soccer, somebody else did something else. So I always had 2 adults besides myself in the classroom because they had to do that to be in our school. Anyway, and so it was great because I would explain to them that we're in this thing of educating your kids together. And but sometimes the parents would get so involved in what my lesson was that they'd be in the back of the room wanting to answer the question. And in this case, that was the case. I did Liars Club, and this man was in the back of the room, and I was trying to ignore him because I thought, you're not supposed to be doing this, the kids are doing. Anyway, but he just had to be called on. He had to be called on. But before I tell you what his idea was, do you guys have ideas about what this might be for?
It's a tether ball for a fairy.
Okay, it works good too. See that? Yeah. Any other ideas?
Plum bob.
Huh?
Plum bob.
Plum bob. Okay.
What's that?
It's a
Oh, yes.
Level
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, there it is.
We got an earthquake detector.
Okay, this is what the dad said, and I just have never forgotten it because I thought it was so cool. You put this on the steering wheel when you're driving. If you fall asleep at the wheel, you lean and it honks the horn. You know what it really is? When my grandparents passed away, they were hat wearers. They were the age where my dad went to San Francisco on a train every morning, and he wore the man hat. And my grandmother had some outrageous hats made out of feathers and all kinds of things. So this went on the top shelf. She was short. She was 5'3" or something. This went on the top shelf of their closet. And when she wanted her hat, she just pulled the string. Pretty cool.
It's your hat on in your closet and then you pull the string down to
Okay,
get
so
the hat falls
now
off into your
there
hand.
is a page in your book that has how many uses can you think of for newspapers? Right there, it says flexibility, right there. Flexibility, it's just a bunch of lines. And you're going to brainstorm with your own brain about how many different ways can you think of to use a newspaper. Remember, the only rule is you try to think of ideas nobody else would think of. And make as many of them as you have time to do.
Everybody's going to know my brain. It's so simple.
I'm being flexible here. I think we're cut the break by 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to give you one more minute. You ought to be able to get 5 or 6 in that minute. Just kidding. Okay, I'm going to stop you. Now, once again, fluency. You count how many ideas you have, and you put that by fluency. Huh?
By
Fluency?
Fluency or flexibility?
Fluency, down at the bottom, do I have?
No.
Flexibility.
Yeah. Okay, I don't have that on there, but that's. Trying to think of what fluency, how many ideas you have?
I thought about the hat. I remember about the hat, but I'm.
No, I'm gonna do all of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the number of ideas you have is
I think we're
fluency.
related.
The number of ideas where you did something to a newspaper. If you crumpled it up, that's fluency. If you tore it and did something with it, if you molded it, if you did something other than have it still be a newspaper, but it's crumpled or whatever, that's when you get flexibility points. So count how many times you did something different and out of the ordinary with it. Like one of the kids one time made confetti. Did you put confetti?
Okay, well, there's the same amount of the fluency, maybe you're supposed to use 12 by different things I did with the paper.
I think it just was hard to figure out. Okay, a fan is still a newspaper, so that's.
So even though it's.
Yeah, you just say that it's still.
Paper mache sculpture.
That's.
Okay, I think
This is all stuff odd for the, as a kid, you know, they should stuff newspapers on their shoes.
Originality is something that you don't think anybody has ever thought. That's right. But I'm gonna first ask for the person who had the highest score in fluency, the most ideas. How many? Did somebody have 10 ideas?
I have
12?
I have 15.
21.
21.
And they're even doing things like, oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
22.
Right, let's hear it.
Okay, 22. So as she reads off the 22, you cross off anything that she thought of.
Okay.
So that's deducting scores because it's different.
Okay. My friend's going, wait, I won't join.
You put it down for your dog pee.
So she reads them off.
Okay, yes, read them out loud enough so everybody can hear.
Insulation for a hypovolemic patient.
I said wrong.
I didn't have that one. I have insulation.
Is that the same as blanket?
I'll talk.
Here, speak in my chest.
Yes.
Oh, darling. Darling. Insulation for a hypovolemic patient to wrap them in. An armature for sculpture. Clothing. Drain stopper. Floor mat. Drop cloth. Canvas. Pattern. Gift wrap. Shoes. Hat. Rug. To create paper. A plug. A mask. Wallpaper, fire starter, curlers, window washing cloth, paper mache, towel, and compost.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, so that's how you figure out, yes.
Maybe I have is origami. No, right?
Yeah, or like making a boat, you know. Okay, I just have a few more minutes left, and I appreciate that you gave me the time. But I quickly wanted to say that when I create boards, I have two posters here, one that shows gourd sculptures, and what I did is I put still lifes, because you can do everything with a board that you can do with a 2D. This is still lifes, this is seascapes, this is figures, this is wildlife, and this is landscapes. So this shows that. And this poster shows what you do with the different shapes, because they do come in a variation of shapes. And this is one that's called a cannonball gourd. This one's a club gourd. This one is a bottle gourd, a kettle gourd. Oh, I have that twice. That's interesting. So I have the different shaped gourds and what I've done with them. Now I brought a couple of gourds with me. Oh, there they are. Okay, this is a gourd that I wanted to show the motion. And I put them all on a turntable so that people could see them all the way around.
That's cool.
So this is one of them. And then this is one. This one's a flexible one. When I say flexible, it's because I took, this is a gourd, this is a gourd, these have come from a gourd, this comes from a gourd, this comes from a gourd, and then the main body comes from a gourd. So when I decided I wanted to do a fish, I had to try and cut and then glue the pieces off, and I used all gourds. So this is the combination of gourds. Then I wanted to show you, I'm really excited because it's been 20 years since this is the 20th year of El Dorado Hills Arts Association, and it's the 22nd year since I did the studio tour. And I just turned 80, so that makes me old, I think. But at the very first Banners on Parade, yes.
You don't get old until you're 95.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because you know something? I feel like I'm not a day older than 60.
That's what we were just saying. We don't feel that old.
So I haven't participated since the first year when they did wheelbarrows on parade on the Placerville, and I decided I'm going to just go for broke this year. So I said I'll be president again of the El Dorado Hills Arts Association after 20 years. And so I also signed up for the Banners on Parade. And so
There's a judge in the room. Be
She's the
careful
judge.
with what you say.
Yeah,
Not-
wait. Leave the room.
no, she doesn't.
Or go la 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 la.
Okay.
Okay.
Sha-la-la-la.
Okay.
Look at her, she goes, I'm gonna go backwards.
She really can't hear.
Close your eyes.
She, in other words, she can't be biased. She's judging the banners soon.
Okay, I had done this as a painting. This is my great-grandchildren, and they're looking at television, but I put them the way I wish they were.
Yes. Yes.
Because I see them as my rising stars.
Yeah.
And the topic is hope. So I just finished the banner, but it was really challenging to make it into a rectangle instead of this. I mean, it's a whole different shape.
So turn it back, turn it backwards. There you go. There you go.
Yes.
Judy, are you
Done.
done?
Done.
Do you wanna, we're gonna, we've got some things to try to fit into our next half hour or so. And so I'm sorry I have to be the bad person.
I also will say that I am helping Myra. I'm the co-chair. Myra is the chairman of the studio tours this year. I'm the co-chair. We do need someone who is computer savvy, and can help gather photos and resize them and stuff for our brochures and stuff like that. We have other things. We do have a meeting tomorrow at 2:30. The Zoom link is on the PAA webpage. And we encourage you, if you want to find out more information, come to our Zoom meeting tomorrow. And if you like, you could fill these forms out today, write a check, and I will mail it to you, save you the postage. So see me if you want. Anyone, raise your hand and I'll give it to you.
Oh, nice, good. Yay.
Thank you, Matt. Sounds like we need to drum up some interest.
It's the very best way to show and sell your artwork. Believe me, it is.
And it's fun. It's
Anyone else?
fun. You're with fellow artists, and it's you eat, drink, and be merry. It's really fun. The setup's a killer, though, but that's all right. You'll get through it. I am Ramona following on Sue's heels, Judy's heels. That's all right, I have salad language, I don't know. Well, I don't know where Sue came from. Judy's heels, Ramona's got a little story.
I have a little story about Judy. Her sons and my son went to high school together at Cass Worldly. And we both live in Orangetown. Not anymore, but at that time. I was talking to her because I did the studio tour at her house one year. And we were talking and she said, you know, in the summertime, the kids and I used to just go to the river almost every day. And I thought, I spent most of my time depressed. And I thought, wow, what a great idea. Bundle up the kids, buy a kayak or two or whatever, and load it in the car and go to the river. And I thought, that was just a great lesson to learn. And if I could do it over again, I'd do that.
No. That's neat, that's a neat story, thank you. I'd like to ask Linnell to give update information about the county fair and where PAA is with this.
Right, so this year's county fair, fine arts and photography, 2 of our PAA members are supervising those exhibits. Fab Sowa Dabaski's doing photography, and I'm doing fine arts. We've had a few volunteers come forward, and we filled our volunteer schedule that we need for the fair. I do want to encourage you all to enter the fair. Deadline is the 24th of this month. You can find instructions on how to enter on Placerville Arts Association website. And Patty, I went back and looked at the entry form, and you will need to enter in fine arts in the classification number 11 with sculpture. But what they do say on the fine art overview, before you click into the actual fine art page, is they do say that sculpture is included in fine arts. So whoever told you at the fair that it should go over into crafts, that was incorrect. And please enter your sculpture as fine art. Also, to let you guys know, Placerville Arts Association is giving 5 special awards that will be judged at the fair. 1 in the photography division, 3 in the fine arts division, and 1 in the youth division. Those ribbons will be given to entrants that have the best entry in the theme Spirit of the Sierra. And we're giving a really pretty ribbon and a $25 award to those 5 winners. And we're hoping to be able to use some of our outreach funds, which we're doing this year for those ribbons and awards every year at the fair. And we're hoping to make the Spirit of the Sierra Award annual thing. So this will be the first year for that. So I hope you all will enter something in the fair.
I have a question. I have never thought about entering in the fair. Did you say it's thematic? There's a theme?
The only theme, there is actually a theme. The fair every year has their own theme. And this year it's Country Nights Carnival Lights. Okay. That's the fair theme. And there will be awards given to that theme. Okay. And then there will be the special Placerville Arts Award, which is the Spirit of the Sierra Award.
Where is that going to be shown? Is that going to be in the crafts area or?
In the everything's in fine arts.
Oh, it's all in the same.
It's all in fine arts and photography. Yeah, and 1 ribbon that will go to one of the youth categories. We're doing something in the teenage category for youth. All right, Kathy, I think that's it.
That's it. Okay. Thank you, Linnell. And I'd also like to call on Valerie Burkhoff, who is the chairperson for Sacramento Fine Arts in the Bold Expression art show, right?
Yes.
Art show? Bold Expression art show. Okay.
Yes.
And she's going to tell us a little bit about that. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name's Valerie Burkhoff, and I am the chair for the Bold Expression Show. It's going to be at Sac Fine Arts, the same place that Motherlode was year before last. It's a great show. Our theme says you have to be visionary to be bold. These are bold pieces. I have an excellent judge this year. It'll be Cheryl Gleason from the MAC will be judging the show. I highly suggest that you take 3 pieces for $50 and enter the show. Not all of them will be chosen. It's a very competitive show. It's an international show if you're looking to add that to your resume. We've had people as far as Greece and Russia enter the show. Wow! So this is a great opportunity. It's going to be a great show. The deadline is August 11th. The show will run from October 3rd to October 28th. And I have visual aids. If you would like to enter the show, I have these little cards, and our prospectus is on the desk here on your way out. You apply through the entry thingy on the computer online, and we'll take it from there. I really hope to see some of you there. Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, Valerie. What I'd like to, one more thing, and then we're gonna watch a video. Whoopee! What have we got? Got about 15 minutes. The art challenge. The art challenge has changed just a tad. For the August art challenge, our beloved Linnell is going to present one of her AI masterpieces. Is it a masterpiece?
It's a piece.
It's a masterpiece. In the July meeting. And then after we see the AI masterpiece, then we do our own interpretation in whatever media we want that will interpret it, right?
Yes, that's the idea. That's the idea. I'll bring you something created in AI, and then you take that as an inspiration and do it in whatever medium you work with. Do a takeoff on it. So I might bring you a cabin in the snowy woods, and then you can do that in watercolor or acrylic, or you can sculpt it, whatever your take on that would be. And we'll want to see, so we'll all work off the same inspiration piece, which I will present to you in July for the August challenge.
That's pretty good. And then the September challenge is for us members to explore AI, which is artificial intelligence. And we're supposed to send our best AI to Linnell, who will put it together in a slideshow and present it for September's challenge. That's, I mean, you know, for some of us who sculpt and that's it, you know, that's good. That's good. Okay,
We have a couple
Don't
questions.
you have to have special software for that?
And we'll be learning about that special software in July at our presentation at the members meeting.
Well, there you go. Huh? That's cool. Okay, and then June is Delights of Summer. That's the challenge for June. Delights of Summer. Okay? Again, the website has got chock full of information. Okay, so it's on the website, I hope. Okay, without further ado, do you guys like that? Without further ado, we're going to have a video.
It's our first time to try this technology, so wish us luck.
Arts Association. I'm here today with Joyce Benson, who is our juror for our 2023 Harris Show. That is the show at the Bank of America Gallery at Harris Center in Folsom. This show is going to run from May 12th to August 20th, 2023. And I've put together a few questions today because I thought you would all like to get to know Joyce a bit. And so Joyce is going to give us some responses here. Hello, Joyce. Thank you so much for doing this for us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's lovely to meet you.
She's 97.
I understand that your interest in art and your formal training has spanned 8 decades, beginning with instruction in oil from the prestigious Longwood Academy in Chicago. You were only 12 at the time. Oil is a pretty intimidating place to start. What do you remember about those early classes in oil that you'd like to share with us?
Well, it is intimidating, and it's a medium I was not used to, but the nun who is training me is very patient, but I was in essence really not ready, but my mother thought I had a lot of promise. Now, I did the windows in the schoolroom at Christmas time, painting poinsettias and stuff like that. But I thought anybody could do this. I didn't realize I must have some talent, but it was my mother who really encouraged me. So I did it for a while, but oils, I was used to watercolors, and oils just didn't, a difficult medium to work with. I knew watercolors, acrylics and stuff, so it didn't last very long doing this. But I did understand a lot more about art and probably the advantages of being an artist.
One of the things, and I don't paint in oil, but one of the things that our oil painters talk about a lot is the ability to continue to blend the paint into different shades that you don't get with acrylic. You really get your shot for just a few minutes with acrylic, and then you have to kind of move on or reblend on top of it. And the oil is more flexible in that way, but I think it takes much more patience.
Watercolor is my choice of medium because I can blend, I can do more things with a watercolor.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I know that's kind of where you've ended up with your fabric fiber work, using water medium with those.
Yeah, fiber art is with dyes, which is very similar to watercolors. Right. And I can dilute it or full strength, and it makes it, fairly easy. Or oils,
Okay, we're going to leave that to Joyce Martin then, the oil painting. Joyce Martin and her crew. We have a local artist, Joyce Martin, that actually gives classes to a lot of other people who are interested in painting in oil. And she did a presentation for us at Placerville Arts not too long ago. And then a month or so later brought the finished painting back to us that she'd started at the demonstration. So it was lovely to see. You've had some really impressive exhibits and awards during your career. You've exhibited at the De Young Museum, been given awards at Cal Expo, Los Gatos Art Association, and the Santa Clara Art Club had your Art of Old Town Los Gatos featured in promotional advertising, and you won the nationalcostume.com competition in wearable art. What is your favorite story from your exhibitions and awards that you can tell us?
Surprise is I submit the art, and when it wins an award and I see what the competition was, I really enjoy the fact that it's not just in my mind that I think it's great, somebody else thought it was great also. So that's kind of a reward that you don't expect, but it's nice when you receive that.
Acknowledgement is always lovely to get. And whether it's in an award or a sale of a piece of art, it's a wonderful acknowledgement that someone else is appreciating it.
Yes. When you travel to Europe and you see the masters, mainly they're in oils, although the Impressionists are not, That opens up a whole new world, because what you know is what you're doing and what you see, and then you go to Europe and you see, you go to the Louvre and you see these masters. That's the big world.
It's so important to appreciate artists during their lifetime. I visited the Van Gogh exhibit that was in Sacramento this last year, and was shocked to find that he only sold one painting during his lifetime.
Wow.
and his paintings are now worth millions of dollars, and the artist will never know that. Maybe the man would have been saner if somebody had appreciated his art during his lifetime. It's just, to me, one of the saddest things, and so I think it's really important to have these kind of exhibitions like the one that you're going to work on today, so that we can appreciate art from artists while they're still alive. So important. You started one of the galleries on Main Street in downtown Placerville, and I also understand that you were part of a Gold Country Artists even before that. And what challenges did you find facing opening a new gallery?
Well, since I started out in Gold Country, and I was the bookkeeper for several years, that was a plus in opening up a new gallery. And but I was the only one that did fabric art, and I had some watercolors and some oils, but the first one to do that. And the response was so positive, I could hardly wait to then have my own gallery. And I thought, I'm going to do this, but I know at my age I'm not going to do it for a long time. But I really put everything into it, and I had such great support with other artists, and who enjoyed with enthusiasm showing their work, because I didn't do anything to see their artwork first. If they liked it and people liked it, that was, you know, we were pretty liberal. And we had a lot. We had jewelers and what else? I mean, it was a variety of art.
That's wonderful, and this is off script a little bit, but how old were you when you started that gallery?
Well, I'm 97 now, and how long ago was that, Sylvia?
91.
91.
So that was 30-ish years ago, so you were in your 60s, and I recently read in...
She was 91 when she opened the gallery.
Right.
Oh, she didn't open the gallery in 91. She opened the gallery when she was 91. Okay, let's get that very clear here. And I think that's so important for people to know, because just because we're seniors and we're retired, it doesn't mean we have to stop doing and creating.
I haven't stopped yet.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm proud of you. That's so great. You found a very special niche and love in fiber art, creating a variety of watercolor painted clothing in silk and cotton. What do you love about working with fiber art?
Well, I think I started out a lot. I made my own clothes when I was a child. My mother gave me a Singer sewing machine. She's watch out for the needle. And she supported me with fabric and everything, so it was a natural. And then you could wear it. And it was different than going to the store and buying something. This was me walking around showing who I am. And I think at Gold Country it was very successful. When I had a show in the window, I practically sold everything. So simulation and your artwork, all you have to do is somebody say, that is terrific.
That's a wonderful story. I really appreciate you sharing this with us today. We've given you some guidelines today about the number of pieces that can be selected and restrictions on the number of accepted pieces from any single artist. We've also shared with you our show theme, The Artist's Mind. What will you be looking for today when you select art from our members' entries?
It's very interesting because over the years I think I've changed in what I think is art and good art and what is creative. And I'm going to look for that creative aspect.
I think one of our artists actually made a comment on their entry that discussed creativity, and I think there's even a piece in there called creativity. So I think our artists will find themselves to be on the same page with you on that. And I really look forward to seeing what you choose for the show. I want to thank you for your time today, Joyce, for this interview. Placerville Arts Association is so grateful that you agreed to juror our show and allow us to do this interview with you. We hope to see you at our artist reception at Harris on May 12th. And here we go, on with the show.
Wow, that 97 and the mill, that was amazing interview. You did your homework. You asked the right questions. That was really good.
I thought it would be very fun to preserve something from her because, you know, how many more years are we going to have with Joyce? And it was really lovely for Sylvia to be there and help with getting it all taken care of. So it was really fun to do the whole project, and which resulted in a very good show at the Harris Center.
It did, but that's posterity, and thank you both.
Right, and this as well as some video footage from the reception at Harris are up on our Placerville Arts Association YouTube channel, so you can look at it at your convenience.
So another thing, Judy, Judy's still here. Did you find your box?
Oh, it's over here.
Okay, I was going to ask everybody to get a heads up. We've got your box. It was carefully disguised as a box. So it's there. We still have a couple of minutes. What do you think about showing the other video?
I can.
So here's. We could show the other video. It's about 10 minutes, and it is the Harris Center show. I know many of you were here or were there at the reception. Some weren't. And it's going to run over our 4:30 time. We have the room until 5, but it's just about a 10-minute video.
Well, good afternoon. Here we are arriving at the Harris Center for the Performing Arts. We're walking into the 2023 summer Placerville Arts Association member show. And this may be the last little bit of quiet we get this evening. So we'll head for those doors and then pick you up on the other side. All right, here we are at the art show. This is Marissa from Folsom Lake College, and there's Heidi hiding from Folsom Lake College over there. It's a great looking show. They set it up for us. We're very excited to be here this evening. I should probably step back for a moment. Artist is Jerry Litwin. This artist is Julia Swain. Here's Roberta Basford's piece. This is Steve Holler. This is by a very young artist new to our group, Andanita Gupta. The name of the piece is Creativity. A couple of our patrons here this evening looking at the art. Very nice to see you all. And we have Springtime Blooms. The artist there is Suzanne Davis. This is exciting for Suzanne and her daughter tonight. This is the first time that they've been in a show together. Isn't that interesting? Yes, yes. I hope you guys.
We're friends with Ian Albert.
Oh, and she's new to our group. We were just looking at her photo across the way. And
very close friend with her.
Very nice. Well, I'm glad you're here this evening.
We're also a collector of her work.
Oh, well, it's always nice to have the patrons. Absolutely. This is by Mr. James Stewart, and it's called Sacred Lands of the Seven Tribes, and it's so nice to have it in this setting. The last show I saw it in, the light was just all wrong and all over it. Have a couple of other patrons here enjoying the art. Good afternoon and evening, ladies. This is a Karen Burns piece called The Junk Drawer. A little smaller than we sometimes see from Karen, but it's a lovely piece. Next we have Marianne Broderick. She's enjoying the view with this piece, as are we. We have Angel in the Mist. The photography is hard to get because of the reflection, so sorry, but the original on this is gorgeous. And this is Valerie Rondon. Next we have Cynthia Hayes in Sunlit Branches. And that's followed by Shirley Isola with Major Mac 5. Then we're very, very honored to have Dreamcatchers in the show. That's a piece by Corinna del Carmel Torres Hibbard. And Bean made the show. That's a lovely scratchboard piece by our former president, Linda Heath Clark. I'm going to come back to 2D in a minute. I'm going to work some 3D as we go through. We have a piece in 3D called The Artist's Mind. That piece is by Carrie Ullman. This is the piece that you see the back of featured on the posters. Minaret 824 is a piece by John Schaff. You really need to see this one in person so you get all the views. We're also very honored that Roy Lizama entered one of his wonderful ceramic pieces called Rugged Vessel. And Sherry Lynn Morris is here with Monopoly Queen. And then here we are with the artist. This is Deborah Appleby, and this is her piece, Boho, Amor, and Northern Lights. It's a two necklace piece, and Deborah had this case custom made to showpiece this. We also have Judy Arrigotti with Take a Hike. You really have to get all the way around this piece to be able to see it. It's so lovely. Then we have a wonderful entry by Richard Nielsen called Wooden Wonder. You almost have to be here to see through it. Oh, look there. We caught somebody right on the other side. That's wonderful. This is the piece that is being shown by our juror, Joyce Benson. It's a Hungarian skur, or a wedding garment. That's available for sale at the show. We also have a three-headed dragon here today. That's Patty Cisneros. And she has provided us with a lovely turntable so that we can see the heads in all the directions. Hello, how are you? I'm good. We have Cherish by Valerie Burkhoff. I'm recording. This is beautiful, isn't it? So this is Cherish. Valerie Burkhoff is the artist. Not to be forgotten, we have Wilbur's Long Hard Day. Kathy Kyle is our artist on that piece, and Wilbur's just looking a little tired there. Beautiful piece by Diana Erickson called Black Pansy Butterfly Necklace. And then another necklace by artist Victoria Mott called Autumn Tree of Life. And then we're going to go back to some more 2D art. This is by Rebecca Davis. It's called Embers. And Rebecca and her mom are in the show together for the first time, Rebecca and Suzanne Davis. This is a lovely piece by Jan Welda. She's new to our group. It's called We Belong Together. Jan Welda's work can be seen at the Gold Country Artists Gallery in Placerville. Land of My Dreams by Joyce Martin. This was started during one of our presentations at our member meetings, and Joyce completed it, and now it's in the show. We have Mind's Eye by Jana Alvarado. Are you one of our artists this evening? Oh my goodness, see, we caught Jana right there by Mind's Eye. How wonderful. What were you thinking when you made that?
I don't know that I was thinking anything. I was mostly just feeling the way that the medium worked together.
Wonderful, wonderful. The artist's mind, it's just something, isn't it?
It really is. It was a fun challenge.
Good, good. We have Oak Creek Canyon. let's take a little look at that. Oh yeah, a little fly on the wall. We have Oak Creek Canyon, that is by our favorite person, Carolyn Cunningham. Not sure she'll be here this evening. She was in Hawaii, so she may or may not make it this evening. Good evening, how are you? We have another patron here this evening. Thank you for seeing the show. This is a Gloria Vernon piece called Under the Sea. She gave us a description called brusho, but then she went back and told us what she really used to make the piece. So she's used highly pigmented watercolor crystals, primer watercolor, and pen. We also have Winter of 23, that is by Vesla Hooper. We have The Next Pan by Sylvia Coleman. I really don't think that man was ever alive. He looks like a little stiff for that, but we'll let Sylvia let us know that. We have Red Planet Spring by Linnell Phillips. We have one of Randy Honorlaw's new pieces called Ice Blue. Always great to have Randy in a show. Then we have Eden Halbert, a new artist with our group, and a lovely photograph called Passing Dream. Next is Patty Bowler. Her piece is Lady with Basket. Margarita Tavares, Cherry's Jubilee. Her vision of what she sees when she looks at cherry blossoms. Hello. We have a wonderful little piece by Fab Sowa. It's called Douglas Iris. We also have Eastern Sierra Hike from Kathy Levinson. And finally, Carrie Repke's wonderful little piece called Forest. We'll be back a little later, I hope, with a few interviews.
And there are some more interviews on there from some of you that I just caught when we had little chats at the show. But since we're over time, I'm going to stop it right here. But go to YouTube and finish the rest of the video with the interviews. So, good. I have so many people here.
Okay, that's it.
Pick a number.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, a number.
Everyone else, pick a number.
What would I do without you?
What's the range?
The range is 29, 1 to 29.
I've been thinking all week, 18.
18. Okay, 18. You guys, we do have flowers on the back table, and number 18 is going to go home with them. I have to go look and see who 18 is. So don't go away. I'll be right back, okay?
Linnell, what was Joyce's last name that you did the interview with?
It's
Benson.
Ellen.
Benson?
Ellen Nelson.
Benson.
Yes, Ellen. The flowers on the back table are officially yours. And that is thank you to, absolutely, thank you to Donna Nelson. She does that every month for us. Thank you. It's a little, it's just a neat thing. Thank you.
I can tell how excited you were.
Okay, we're done. You guys have my permission to leave. Yay.
It's a wrap.
Right here. Right here. I don't have a picture.
Nice meeting you.
For the,
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you.
awesome.
No one to re-entry. I made more than one of these maps. Leave the one impressed.
5 years, we'll see you next time.
Money that you so graciously give to us. We have 2 sites in Gold Trail. We have a TK through 3rd grade site, that's Sutter's Mill Elementary, and then we have a 4th through 8th grade site, and that's Gold Trail. For this funding source, what we decided we were going to do was any teacher that needed some additional funding to do open house, which Gold Trail just had theirs and ours is on Wednesday. The kids, especially in TK through third grade, do tons of art projects throughout the year. We really value art as a way of creativity, as a way of fostering social and emotional stability. It's just so important in the lives of children. What we decided to do with the money is for teachers that needed some additional funding for their end-of-year art projects, we would help fund those projects, and then those projects then get entered into the county fair. So it sort of comes full circle where we're doing end-of-the-year projects, the families get to come through the sites, they get to see those projects, but then those specific ones get to be entered into the county fair so that the funding that you're giving comes to our school, helps with art, but then the children's art gets to be displayed at the fair for everybody to see. So I just felt like that was a good use of support for that. But I want to just emphasize again how appreciative we are of support for the arts. It is such an important part for kids to be able to better understand themselves. We have students who, art is their go-to place. Art is their place where they can get their emotions out. Art is their place where they're really good, where they might struggle in another academic area, but they are amazing artists. So we want to make sure that we're fostering their confidence and all those things that they're becoming by doing art. And if you're ever in the Gold Trail area and you want to see student art, believe me, we got lots of it at our site. So we would also say, when you go to the county fair, make sure that you're looking specifically for those art entries from Gold Trail, and you can brag and say, we help support those, and it'll be awesome. So without you, we still do art, but we don't get as many opportunities, and so that little bit of funding, I just wanted to make sure it reached as much of the county and the community as we could possibly make happen this time. So thank you so much. It means a lot to me, it means a lot to our teachers, certainly means a lot to the kids. Do you have questions for me, anybody? And the artwork is amazing.
You guys all know that the children's art is right next door to where the organ room, where the adult place artwork is going to be, where we're supposed to be sitting, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to go look at that art, then go look at the kids' art.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
Here,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you're welcome to stay as long or as short as you want. And I understand you've got a district to run, so.
I have many hats. Drop off, pick up, principal, superintendent, sometimes cafeteria. I don't drive a bus yet, but that could be in my future too. So thank you for inviting me though, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm sorry.
You're welcome. Not at all. Thank you.
Bye-bye.